Hello, you splendid Godot people. Yann here from Canopy Games, and I wanted to show you a quick tip. This is a tool I use all the time in my games. I'm going to show you how to make something I call filegrabber. But to show this off, I'm going to show you a quick little game I made last year, a very simple little match 3 game. We're just going to hit play. Now, every time you load a level, we have all these different animals, and there are way more types of animals, these animals are done by Kenny, than will ever appear in the level. Each level will only show 4 types of animals, but we have, I think, 14 different available ones. And I can just press it and play the game, but that's not what this video is. What's happening here is when we make the level, we are running filegrabber. And all we're saying is, I have a variable, which is a dictionary. I want to run filegrabber, and I want to use the getFiles function in filegrabber with this folder. It'll return every single file that we want within that folder. Now, specifically here, if I go over to tiles, animal tiles, which is here, each one of these, let's go into 2D, is just a variation of the same scene. So it's just going to grab all of the animals in here. The advantage of doing it this way is that while I'm making the game, I can add and remove tiles in here. I use this all the time. In Godot Getaway, this is how I do the billboards. We have lots and lots of billboard textures, and we put them all in one folder, quickly add and remove them, and go from there. Also, if you add the filegrabber, if you use the filegrabber rather, to the user file, you can allow the user to upload things and use those. So let's get the zoo blocks out of the way. And I'm going to show you real quick how to make this scene. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to script and make a brand new script. And I'm going to call this filegrabber. I'm going to have it as empty because I don't need anything in there. And I need a place to put it. So let's put it, new folder, filegrabber, just so it's nice and easy to find. Done. Before we go any further, I'm going to go to project settings. I'm going to go to auto load. I'm going to find my filegrabber. And I'm going to auto load that script in. Make sure it's enabled. Good to go. And it's done. This is going to make it available to every other scene in the game. Now, this is just the filegrabber scene, but I've already shown you how to use it in ZooBlocks, and I'll show you how I'm using it in Godot Getaway in a second. All right, so we have a single function, and it's called getFiles. That's all this does. And it needs an argument, specifically, what folder are we looking in? All right, to begin, well, let's make this nice and clear. To begin, we are going to start with a new variable called gathered files. So as we're going, we're just going to have a dictionary of files that are coming in. Now we're going to have to use the directory.new function. To make that a little easier to read, I'm going to make a variable called directory and just call it directory.new. If we hold Control and click on directory, we can see the various things we have available to us, including open, list directory begin, and list directory end. So let's close that, Control W, and start with directory.open. And we need an argument here. We need a string path. Well, we have that. We're passing that in as an argument. Secondly, we're going to tell it to start from the beginning. We don't need any of the additional arguments, so we're just going to say start from the very beginning of this directory. Now we're going to do a simple while loop. So while there is something to open, let's get the file. The file is the directory command, and we're going to use get next. Okay, next we need an if condition. If that file we've just got has an empty string for a name, in other words, if there's nothing left to read. If that happens, break. We don't want to keep a while condition going forever. It's going to get really embarrassing. Also, that should be a colon, not a semicolon. Next, let's make sure that we're gathering the files, we're getting this gathered files dictionary appended, only if the file information is what we need. And to do that, I'm going to use elif, and we're saying not file.begins with that should get rid of most of the hidden files and stuff like that. Then we can say and not file.ends with .import. That should be dot, not comma, import. There we go. In other words, if the file we have begins with a character that is not point and does not end with .import, we can do something. What are we going to do? Well, gathered files, which is a dictionary, dot append, and now I want folder plus file, which is going to give us the path and the file name for this specific thing. Once all of that is done, we're going to go back up to, and we're going to return gathered files. So what's going to happen is another node is going to call filegrabber.getFiles and then a path. We're going to generate an empty dictionary. We're going to open the folder that we've been sent to. We're going to list it from the beginning, and then we're going to scan through every folder. As long as there is still a file, and we're ignoring all files that begin with dot, and all files that end with import are going to be added as the path plus file name to the dictionary. Finally, that entire dictionary is going to be sent back. So if I open Godot Getaway, and I open my billboard scene, you can see here we've got this lovely blank billboard, and we've got all of these billboard materials, right? So here's a subfolder full of billboard materials. The script is going to say, and here I don't have it as a separate node, this is built into this script, which is going to generate a materials list, that is this get files function we've just written. Then it's going to pick one at random and return that, which means on ready, we're just going to say that the material is load selected material, right? How does that look in game? Let's find out. Make this nice and big, host the game. By the way, if you want to learn how to make this game, you can check out our website. We teach Godot Getaway and all the Blender assets. We can see all of these little billboards, which are randomly selected. So as you're driving around this procedure-generated city, we've got procedure-generated and slightly randomized billboards with different ads on them, which really makes things a lot easier. And to show that off in ZooBlocks again, when we create a new game, it's going to go through every single X and Y, and it's going to place a tile based on 4 of the entire set of allowed tiles. So if I press reset, we're just going to get 4 tiles, and each time the game doesn't even know which ones they are, it's just going to pick them randomly and place them in, which is awesome. So that is the file grabber. I use it all the time. I hope you find it helpful. If you want to learn more about stuff like that, do head over to canopy.games and you can check out some of our intermediate courseware. Otherwise, excellent work, and I shall see you soon.